Hey everybody, it's Ben Burchard, creator of Total Product Blueprint, and welcome back. This is Module 3 again, and we're talking about webinar marketing now. If you've been watching with us, you just learned the world's greatest outline for creating kick-butt webinars. Now, the question is, how do you get people to register for them and on and excited and engaged to buy your stuff? Okay, here's the way I have found it's most effective. We just ran this for Total Product Blueprint. It was the most successful webinar campaign we have ever done, with literally thousands and thousands of people on our webinar, but also collected thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of names. This was, I think, 7,000 to 8,000 people who we collected as part of this campaign. Blew it through the roof because it was really smart. The fortunate thing, now that you've been studying with us with Total Product Blueprint, is you're actually going to see a very similar format of what I'll do to market a webinar as I would for that teleseminar. You're going to see pretty much the same exact sequence. We're just going to make it for the webinar now, because this worked like a champ too. I couldn't believe it. The teleseminar worked so good, I thought the webinar will do it. What was innovative about this model is I took the control of people signing up for a webinar away from the webinar people. Meaning, usually, if you want people to register for a webinar, what you do is you send them to GoToWebinar's page, and they register there, and they get a confirmation email through GoToWebinar, or you use ReadyTalk.com. Same thing. They have their own forms, their own pages, where people can register and receive a confirmation or reminder email before the webinar. I don't like doing that because, one, their pages are templates, they all look the same. I can't control it the way exactly I want to, but more importantly, they want to give away too much information. I like to limit the amount of information on a registration page so that I can get the maximum number of people to register for the webinar without even telling them when exactly the webinar is. I know it sounds crazy. You would think on a registration page for a webinar, it would say, register for webinar on so-and-so day at so-and-so time. I don't want to give them that information. I want them to be hooked on the webinar itself. What happens when I did that is it increased my opt-ins by 36%. 36% more people opted in when I did not tell them the exact date and time than when I did. Now I'm capturing all those new emails that I can follow up with, regardless if they ultimately can attend the webinar or not. That's why I create my own opt-in pages for my webinars, which obviously you'll get at the tutorial here that you can do it with either OptimizePress or Kajabi on how to do that. That's part of this series, as you'll see beneath this video or with this video. But me, I want to own that process. So here's how I do it. I still go in, right? I go into GoToWebinar or ReadyTalk. I set the whole thing up, but what they always do is they give you the link for where people will go to join the webinar. And they give you the dates and times and stuff once you register with GoToWebinar or ReadyTalk. They basically set it all up for you and give you the link that people will be clicking on. So I just take that information and I put it in an autoresponder so that when they enter their name and their email on my webinar registration page, which I'll show you an exact screenshot of, when they enter their name and their email and register, and they hit register, an email goes out to them through my shopping cart, whether it's One Shopping Cart, Infusionsoft, Office Autopilot, or Aweber, whichever one you like to use. They get this autoresponder that has the date, the time, and that link. So they're still getting it, but not first. You see the power of that? That increases the number of people I collect in terms of their names and their emails. And my job to help you is to help you build a list, right? So that you have more people to market to. This is the best way to build a list for a webinar I've ever seen, because I don't tell them on here what time it's going to be. I might tell them the date. I might say next Monday, but I do not say the time. So they have to enter their name and email to get that type of information. So let me walk you through this, again following similar to what we taught in the teleseminar, but then I'll show it to you on ScreenFlow so you can see it on my computer, how it all works. So here's the basic concept again. We're going to send them all of our people or all the traffic we get from affiliates, right, from other people promoting us. And again, to get affiliates, you'll learn how to do that in our promotional partnership crash course, which that course begins for you 30 days or so after you've been with us in Total Product Blueprint. We basically finish the 6 or 7 modules of Total Product Blueprint, Then we go into expert marketing mastery for experts and promotional partnership crash course, right? There's a lot of training here available for you. Literally, look, by the end of you finishing this training, you will literally be in the top 1% of educators and marketers online, period, if you'll just stick with this. I know it can feel consuming, but look, you're going to be here for a long time. You're building a real brand. So take the time to study the videos. Take the time to put it into play. Take the time to do this as a real career and a real business, and it will serve you beyond measure, okay? So what is this? How does it work? Again, we're going to set up your own page for registering on here, okay? If you want a tutorial on how to set up GoToWebinar or ReadyTalks, they have tutorials on their websites. No point of me recreating the wheel. I'm just going to teach how to do better marketing, okay? So again, at the top of this opt-in or squeeze page, and again, you're going to learn how to do this in either Kajabi or in OptimizePress. They'll show you how to set up this type of a page, okay? It's very simple, clicking of a few buttons. But at the top, we have register. What's the word? Register. Very important. I know it sounds basic, but registering is way better than saying sign up. Is way better than saying get instant access. It's register for free, high-content webinar. Free, high-content webinar. I've proven by putting this subhead at the top, it increases the number of people who enter their name in the email. Then you've got your promise headline. What is it they're going to learn on your webinar? That goes here. And then you've got an image here of basically a slide, your first slide or your title slide of your webinar, of your PowerPoint presentation or your Keynote presentation. Again, if you don't know how to do PowerPoint or Keynote and do them well, go up to the Bonuses tab and click Screencasting for Mac or Screencasting for Windows, based on whichever one you use, and you can get full tutorials there. It's a $1,100 program I just threw in for you, okay? So include an image right there of that, then register for a free webinar, and you'll give them information next Monday. Only 1,000 get in, and your name and email right now to get the webinar link and details. They hit register, and boom, they'll be taken into it. Underneath the image, you'll learn X, Y, and Z to get them excited about this, okay? But here's the gist of how all this works. Again, at a conceptual level, we'll show it online, but I just want you to get it conceptually. They enter their name and email. When they click register, bam, they're immediately taken to this next page. On this next page, it says, thanks for registering for this webinar. Please add my email at soandso.com to your whitelist or your contact or your address book in your email program so that you ensure you receive your details and future communications from me. I don't give them the webinar link or the webinar details on this page. I know that sounds counterintuitive and it's very different than what everyone else does, but look, you invest in this program to learn what really works at the highest levels by making them go to their inbox to find that email from me. And if it goes to their junk folder for whatever reason, they can click not junk, or they can add my name and email to their whitelist, their email contacts. Suddenly, all my emails now go directly to their inbox, and they know to look for them. Plus, now it's in an email form, and they can add it to their calendar, right? It's all there for them. It's really great, all right? Then, here's the magic of what I've really been able to teach people to get more people to attend their webinar and increase their sales too by the end of the webinar, is in the meantime, until our webinar, enjoy this free video. And they can click on this free video. On this free video, you'll learn things like X, Y, and Z and make it really sexy and exciting for them. They click on this video, they're taken to another page. We just call it a value page, where on this page, there's just a video of you teaching and training on your topic. And lots of different, and a Facebook comments plugin where people can ask questions or post comments. There's no sales, okay? No sales here. None on this. Just straight up kick butt value. Why do you do that? Two reasons. One, if they go here, they get this value, they watch this, they're more likely now to want to attend your webinar. And now they already know you more and have gotten more value from you, so they're more likely to buy something that you offer at the end of the webinar. The second reason is they get this video and they can click it and get this value. If they never attended the webinar that they just signed up for, they still get value from you. So that when you ultimately do offer something for sale, even if they missed the webinar, they associate you with high quality content and training and value. Okay? Then on the webinar, as I taught in the last section about how to create a webinar, you also offer towards the end, if you offer something for sale, you're going to drive them to the sales page. You tell them a link, they go here, and on this one, this is your sales page. This is your video where you have something for sale and they can click add to cart to be able to buy something. Okay? So the great thing is by doing this, you own their email, you make them go to their email to look for your email, you add value to them. Now on the webinar, if they make it on the webinar, you send them the sales page. If they don't make it to the webinar, no worries. Regardless, you're still going to send out a link at some point saying, hey, on that webinar the other day, if you missed it or if you were on it, I want to let you know about this program we announced. The program was this. Click this link. You drive them to the sales page, and that is how I monetize my marketing for webinars. Obviously, you've seen how I do it by creating a good webinar, and now this is this flow towards the end. I'll show you this whole thing playing out online so you can see exact samples, but that's the concept, and that concept works like a champ. Fortunately for you, it's very similar to doing a teleseminar, and we've really figured out that those two work really well together with this strategy. So there you go. Join me now for a moment. I'm going to jump into my screen flow and show you exactly how all this works, including the emails, the web pages, and the sequence. See you in a second.